This podcast is brought to you by Stevie Wicks and by Vizard.ai.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Well, Disney bamboozled us.
Yeah. So, if you didn't guess by the horrifying photo, we're talking about Snow White. We're talking about the wonderful original and the very
Awkward,
how do I put this nicely?
awkward version of it, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Soulless waste of. I mean, it's not film anymore, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's
Weird soulless movie, the Snow White
Yeah.
2025.
with
Ah.
with a healthy dose of white supremacy at the end.
Yeah.
So even the iconography of everyone dressed in white. Is
Yeah,
crazy.
I was like, whoa.
Well, first of all,
Disney.
spoiler alert. Right.
Oh my God! Speaking of that, real quick, there's a meme of that white dress, and Lord
And
Farquaad.
Lord Farquaad. Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that. You know what?
Oh yeah, they've been doing that since the image was released.
And if
of
you
her
allow
behind the
me,
scenes.
I totally understand why she's being like that. I mean, if I tap a little bit into her life, I mean, let's remember that she's just 23. And since the first interview, she's trying to send us clouds of information. So we don't understand the fact that publicly, worldwide, they told her, you're ugly, but you're beautiful inside. Because that's what the movie says. So in her mind, 23 years old, her dream is gone. The first thing that she's trying to do is send us misinformation because that's what the movie says. She's beautiful inside because you're so freaking ugly, right? And you look so bad with that bob cut, and nothing fits you in the dress. You look like with all the respect, with everyone listening to this podcast, she looks like a guy in a dress. She doesn't have any feminine side. She doesn't show us charisma. She doesn't show us princess
Like
thing.
the dress is too big for starters. Like
Yeah,
it's too big for her.
She's a small person. Like that
Yeah.
dress just buries her.
It looked like a Halloween costume in a bad way. Like
I
it
really
looked
think
like
that nobody likes her in real life.
I told my mom, I was like, don't you agree now that dress looks like something from the Party City? You
yeah.
can get that at Party City.
I see musicals in high schools with better production in clothing, in
Yeah.
wardrobe. It was really bad.
Yeah, the wardrobe in this movie was something else.
Now,
It was
you know what really kills me, guys? In this one, we're not gonna have the man or the prince rescue me. We're just gonna create a fake Robin Hood with lack of character. That's the one that is kissing me to save me, not the prince. Like, dude, it's exactly the
he
same.
saves her,
Twice.
I think 3 times certainly twice. Certainly inarguably twice. You could argue that the third time is collaborative. But yeah. Well, she didn't lie. She wasn't saved by the prince. There's no prince.
That's what
It's
I'm
just-
saying. I really believe that she was
it's a
just
bum.
sending
It's a guy.
misinformation because the reality is that when she saw the final cut, the mirror says, you're ugly as hell, but you're beautiful inside. So in her mind, she starts sending these bombs away because the universe of Disney and every fan understand that she's ugly.
I wore this in protest when I was
There you
in
go.
the movie. Yeah, I wore this
I'm
in
putting
protest.
this in protest. This is how this Disney make me feel. I
Well,
mean, go ahead.
Here's the root of this movie's problem, and this is a wider problem for Disney. So in the first one, which actually I had a bit of an epiphany in the theater and I realized something, bit of a historical diatribe. If you want me to go down, I will, but not. So the original story is a nondescript fantasy kingdom somewhere, presumably in or around the medieval to the Renaissance period. It's ambiguous on purpose. Okay. The original film was made in the 1930s, where those types of kingdoms were very much in the past. They did not exist they didn't exist in that way anymore, but it's where the story takes place, and the filmmakers at the time respected the, albeit fictional,
You're
time and
talking
place.
about the official 1935 one.
39.
Correct. Yeah. The animated one.
Okay.
Yeah. But the filmmakers, even though it was made in the 20th century, are still respecting a sort of like 13th to 15th century vibe, aesthetic, culture, this, that, and the other. Like in that culture, it would not be strange at all for a princess to be sort of just expected, in her mind too, expected to one day marry a prince and do the thing. That was the culture of the time. I understand we don't live in that world, but that's where the story takes place. The problem with this movie is it is injecting 21st century sensibilities into a medieval place, and it's phony. And even though you may not click internally like that exact thought, you feel that something is off, and that's why, because you know it's phony.
Yeah, I mean, because it's unrealistic. I mean, I'm sorry for the spoilers to let everyone. Probably we're just saving you dollars to listen to us.
Yeah,
we watched
it so you don't have to.
Exactly.
And don't take me wrong, we invite you to go to the movie theaters because we love when people go to the movie theater.
But see something worthwhile.
See something else.
There's something that really disturbs me in a brutal way, is that the most important thing for me and for many people that I've been reading is the power of Snow White. The real power is that she makes everyone, her magic, everyone around her better. She make the dwarfs, I'm talking about the original story, not the original Disney story.
Well,
she make the dwarfs more open, the prince show his valor, right? He maximized everyone's feelings. In this movie, they want to make her a superhero girl that doesn't exist because of the age that is portrayed. They're putting a 23-year-old one to portray that 13-year-old character that's the age of Snow White. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, presumably in this film, to be fair, they age her up. It's pretty obvious that they do, that's fine. I get it. That's a 21st sensibility that's a 21st century sensibility I really don't have a problem with. But I get your point, and I will give credit where credit's due. I was fully expecting Snow White to be clad in armor, carrying a sword, and they didn't do that. So I'll give credit where credit's due.
I will prefer, if you're gonna ruin it, Jake, I prefer that.
I mean, to be fair,
she won the battle because she got good memory.
Oh, not just good memory. Oh, no. There's a channel on YouTube that I love, The Critical Drinker. He does hilarious movie reviews. And I watched before I watched the movie in the theaters, I watched his review, and I'm going to butcher his Scottish accent, but it's part of the comedy. He was like, and Snow White claims victory by remembering everyone's name.
I'm professional.
And he's like, no, I wish I were making this up. That's the fucking truth.
Yeah.
It's oh my god, like
that ending is so bad.
It's so
bad because two things. Let's assume, I'm gonna give them the benefit of a doubt. The evil witch enchant everyone to make them forget who they were, right?
That would have made more sense.
That will make more sense. But I'm gonna believe that because you guys know that this year I promised I was gonna support art no matter what. I can with this movie. Because suddenly, a woman that doesn't have experience, that is always living in a castle, his biggest experience is spend a night with 7 guys, right?
Across 3 beds.
Across 3 beds. Well, the budget was tight. The problem is, like, suddenly she says, oh, Tom, you were the baker. And then we got a shot to the dad's baker, and the dad baker just go, at least make the baker say, Tom, remember, they're breaking the bond of magic with the family love. No, she's the hero. She's the hero that, I mean, if she got the dagger and kills the witch, I will feel better.
I literally made my girlfriend laugh hysterically because when she materialized that dagger, like, and she gave it to Snow White. I literally in the theater, I did this motion. I went,
Yeah, it's done.
did
and it's done.
I did
It's
too.
done. Just
I made the exact same motion.
what? What the? Why she?
I was
and
half expecting her to do that. I'm like, come on.
I that would have immediately flipped my opinion of this movie 180, and I would have been like, hell yeah, Snow White, stab a bitch. Like,
Now, let's remember that this was a German book.
mhm.
It wasn't by the oh yeah, it was the Grimm brothers, and it was published in 1812.
Yeah, and
original
other versions existed, but theirs is sort of the canonized version. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a Germanic story. So
Wasn't the snowstorm in the original?
The original
I
is
could-
called is Schuppen Vincent and the Haselnut.
Mhm.
That I don't is Snow White and the Rose Red.
so actually no, that there are two Snow White stories. That's one of them, and I got into a
Oh, yeah,
comment
right. That's
argument.
the one, and the other one
Yeah.
is the Seven Dwarfs. Yeah, you're right.
Correct. Yep. Because
but both
that
by
one
by the Grimm brothers.
correct, because there were arguably many versions of different stories for Snow White as sort of like a I guess you could say a mythical character, a cultural character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people get them confused. That's why I'm trying to remember what the rose
Now,
red of it all was.
Let's
but-
be honest. The worst thing about something that is worst about this version of the movie is two things for me. The insecurities of the queen, because she's super hot, but she thinks she's not just because a device telling her not to. That's a kind of good analogy about social media nowadays. But something that is worse than everything for me is Gal Gadot trying to sing.
Yeah, that
Dude,
musical
nobody's
number.
talking about that, but she can sing shit.
Also, why the hell does the Evil Queen need a song to begin with?
She
Because I think
doesn't,
it's,
and it's
she
also
doesn't
the
need it.
most. It's also the most awkward of, and every musical number in this movie is awkward as hell, and that's the most by far. Like I was, okay, everybody hates the queen, right? Yet she has backup dancers that are like, yeah, let's get down with this thing. It's like, no, this tonally, this just doesn't jive at all.
No,
It-
not at all.
And she
It's-
sings
it-
off key, by the way.
She sings really off key.
Well, that's
And-
also not her. They have somebody else, so I don't even know. They got a sound alike to sing for her.
Don't you guys think that somebody really hated them? I just want to make fun of them.
No, I think, unfortunately, I think today in Hollywood, it's
Well, Disney and Hollywood are two different things.
okay. That's thank you. Clarification. Today in Disney, it's not about making quality storytelling. It's about churning out content, and they give jobs to idiots that shouldn't be given those jobs because they probably know somebody. And it's like, yeah, I used Pro Tools once. Great, you're our sound engineer.
My other thing though is, why did we have to CGI the dwarves? Why?
Because of the backlash. So my conspiracy theory, because for those I was not really I honestly can't tell, and I doubt we'll ever know if they intended from day one to CGI the dwarfs, because that picture that was circulating online that was allegedly the retooling of the dwarfs into the 7 mythical, racially and gender diverse with one dwarf beings,
Yeah.
those end up being the bandits.
Yeah.
My conspiracy theory is they'd already hired those actors, and those actors are SAG, so they're contracted. So I'm wondering if they didn't just retool and reshoot half the movie, making those people the thieves. Now I don't know. This is I can't tell if that's
Dude,
what
the
they did.
real dwarf that is shooting the ball.
Mhm.
It's like, so you are a real dwarf, but your cousins are CGI.
Yeah, and there's a scene where
And I
they're both
think
in the
that's
same scene
like-
together, and I'm like, and nobody's going like, oh, speaking of the dwarfs, why do they have magic rock detecting powers?
Thank you. I was about to. Thank you.
Can
This
you
makes
clarify that?
zero-
Because I think I fall asleep in that part.
They touch the gems in it, like their hands
Oh,
turn
yeah,
red.
yeah.
One
Right.
time.
I remember.
It
One
happens
time.
once in the movie,
Once.
and it
Yeah.
never comes back. So they did
I
it
got
for
a
a
theory.
shot.
If you allow me, guys, I got a theory of that. If we pay attention, they wanted to use, I don't know why, because we're never going to know why, like you just correctly say, Jake. They wanted to use a few hooks from other movies. When she's falling in the hole, it's like Alice in Wonderland. And then she falls in the water, and it's the only human that get all wet, but the food in her pocket is dry. I don't know how she managed to do that. That drives
That's
me
true.
crazy
The bread
in a
is dry.
second.
Where's this underground river?
Where's this
That,
water
but
coming from?
that's Alice in Wonderland.
Sure. Yeah,
Right?
I can see
Think
that.
about it.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
fact,
there's a similar scene in the original Snow White, but it's very
but it's
obvious that
falling
it's
to
just
the it's just a
yeah,
heel.
and it's her mind playing tricks on her, and it's obvious in
And
the end.
that's
In
what
this,
something
it's
that I
not.
want to tap in. Before she put together the dwarfs and the humans, in my mind is like, maybe she's this cold take her to a magical place. Maybe I'm trying
That's
to be
certainly the
cold.
vibe. That's
That's
certainly
the
the
vibe,
vibe that it gives.
but it's not realistic. The
Mm-mm.
only good thing about the movie is the little shrink. I mean, the little rabbit and the little bird. They're
Oh,
cute.
someone in this movie clearly loves hedgehogs.
Yeah. Do you know what is? I don't know.
Which
It's
fair
hard
enough,
to say what
but
is worst, but there's nothing worse. We are not afraid anymore. Oh no, you
dear
talk,
God.
and you got a great voice.
Oh,
And tell me one person in the universe, and including Thanos and sci-fi, that tell you put your lips together. Oh, I'm perfect and in tune, and I know how to project myself. Good. You just learn how to do.
Virus. It was in the script, though.
Oh yeah,
A
well.
couple of questions leading all around that, though. First of all, the scene of whistle while you work. Why are the dwarves there? It's not how the original happened.
No,
How
like,
it's like they switched the scenes around.
And why are they listening to this strange woman that just showed up at their house
well, maybe
for
they
no
were
reason?
Quakers.
I'm with Grumpy. I'm with Grumpy on this one.
Oh,
Like-
you know what I hate? Grumpy's right the whole time, but in the
The
last
whole
scene,
movie.
suddenly he's happy. So he left his character and he's dancing, dressing white. It's like, dude, Dumpy stop being dumb, Grumpy stop being grumpy, and Doc suddenly becomes a, no offense,
Doc's
a Star Trek fucking annoying. I know everything, motherfucker.
and a fucking surgeon.
Yeah, that like the guys, and
I will give credit. I will give credit. There is one joke that actually genuinely made me laugh, and it's when Doc comes out and he's like talking about everything he did, and then the guy stands up and he was like, "I thought he was dead."
yeah,
Like, okay, I'll give you that one.
Of the movie.
When he comes out of the
Yeah.
cottage. Yeah,
I'm like, okay, I'll give you that one, script writer. That
had me
one was solid.
dying.
And okay, I did chuckle at the moment when Snow and he's not the prince, Snow and Robin Hood are about to kiss, and then it like focuses back in and everybody's just staring at him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty funny gag.
The best moment in the movie, the only thing with Depp and character is when he's stealing for the first time. And I don't know how the hell he make it all the way to the kitchen, but whatever. And she comes and says, well, the princess should do something. And she's like, I heard that she's been thinking about it. And he turned and said, well, you need to stop thinking and do. She needs to start doing. That's the only deep moment in the whole movie. The rest is bad.
Yes, but this movie also can't figure out if it's arguing for democracy or communism. It can't. It can't decide what it's arguing for because, like, hey, I get it. Stand against tyranny. I get it. But okay, it's one woman, and this is allegedly a medieval. And yeah, she's got some voodoo magic powers, kind of nondescript. But you're telling me that a palace full of soldiers that are pissed off because people are starving don't just go in there and just end her?
Well, supposedly
Why
she
not?
was so charismatic because she smiled once that everybody wants her. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I'm just going to put it out there that Commodus got choked. Emperor Commodus of Rome got choked to death in a bath because he pissed people off. So I believe, which speaking of wasted, the part that probably made me more confused than anything is how the evil queen bites it. She smashes the mirror and then she disintegrates into ash. And I'm like,
I really think the guy that really like Avengers, right, and how they dissolve, and he wanted to use the same thing. I just don't get it, man.
I'm sorry, her death in the original is way better. It makes more sense. It's
Dude,
more
Yep.
yeah.
I
it's
will
more
say
justified.
This. I will justify with this. Patrick Page as the Magic Mirror, I enjoyed.
Yeah, but it's basically just a rip off of the which is fine, you know. But
I think that if they use at least the one from Shrek, will be more fun.
Thelodious. See,
weird.
That's a funny joke.
Yeah. The worst of, first of all, thank you for having us, Haley. But the reality is that we're just the tip of the iceberg. This whole movie is a failed intent of the woke culture. Because let me tell you something: the only Latino in the whole movie is Snow White, but because her dad was white, so she's Latino as I'm German, because her dad is German American, right? But the rest, the hunter, the black guy, when he delivered, dude, in the original story is lungs and a heart that the witch actually cook to eat. In the Disney version of the animated version of 1939 is the heart of a deer.
Mhm.
Remember?
Mhm.
This one is a freaking apple.
An apple, yeah.
Yeah, how do like okay, everyone in this movie is an idiot.
Yes.
Everyone is like nobody thinks past right now. And they don't think of any good. Like, what was your plan, Huntsman? Like, she's eventually going to open the box, probably right as you give it to her.
Well, but we
and
are woke, and if a black guy and a white guy pull together, they break the chains. Seriously? The guy's been trying to get rid of chains that they're constructed and built so you never escape. And it happens that if a white man and a black man pull together, they break the chains. Beautiful iconography, not in the middle of a movie with nonsense. I'm starting to get pissed off, but more than I remember.
See, that's what you're missing, though. That's his retelling of the story to sound cool. What actually happened is they convinced the guard through means to unlock the chains. They offered the guard services.
Yeah.
But they both, as they are getting out of the castle.
What kind of services?
Well, I'll put it to you this way: as they're both, leaving the castle and washing their mouths out in the moat, they said, "Okay, anybody asks, we broke the chains by pulling on them together." Cool, yeah, and we will never speak of this again.
I'm not gonna lie, when you said they offer services, my mind went completely to the left.
Mine too. I was trying to control Haley. They're like, "Hey, dude, let me out of here." And I will.
No, that's what actually happened.
Yeah, totally.
But the story he told Snow White was, we just grabbed the chain and we pulled really hard.
And I understand the writer what he wanted to change these little factors to make it a woke movie. I get it. I understand that he did a crappy job, that a high school person that never write anything in his life could do a better job. But the circumstances of empowering a woman in this ex-woke society is too forced. This is even forced. They didn't bad. Like she never cleaned the house.
She could have been empowered though, because the other problem with this movie is it completely negates economics and geopolitical politics. All right. Because honestly, there are two moments where I find myself kind of siding with the evil queen. I'm like, yeah, you're not the best leader, but you at least acknowledge that there is a possibility that someone will invade you and you need an army to defend the territory. Snow's just like, everybody will just hold hands and give each other food.
Wait. And your name is Thomas and you're the baker.
Oh, but not only that, notice this little gem. She's to the baker. You never turned away anyone, even if they didn't have any money. Oh shit, he did. Because if you don't turn anybody away with no money, you run out of bread and you have no money, which means you can't eat. which means then you have to steal your neighbor's shit and
But
communism.
communism, but wait, in what idea if the witch give all the gems, right, back to the to the people in the town? How that brings economy back? Everybody just have gems, no food, no nothing, right? And the gems are not even worth anything because there's
Because
7
there's so
dwarfs.
many.
No, there's so dwarfs that go in mines, and there's so freaking many that that town were freaking stupid. Just go to the mine with the
Yeah,
guys.
well, the thing is, you'd have to export them. Like, let's assume, let's give them the benefit. Let's assume that they have that mine in their territory and they're rare everywhere else. It's like if you found a diamond mine in your backyard, right? They're not rare to you anymore, but they're
No.
rare elsewhere. So, but in order to extract that wealth, you have to export them. And the queen seems to just want to hang on to everything. And it's like, you can't look at, there's so many things that she's just kind of like Scrooge McDucking it, and but you're not selling anything, so it's just dumb. And by the way, I want to see the realistic cartoon where Scrooge McDuck dives into the coins and just plants because that's what would actually happen. But
I just got something to say. You see, I practiced the whole week. Freaking, it's annoying, dude.
I
But
wanted
we're
to.
not afraid anymore.
I'm afraid.
oh,
I was like, I was afraid the whole movie.
I have a dopey rant, which I said this before we went live, but I'm going to repeat it because I think it bears repeating.
Okay.
So Dopey as a character in this movie is extremely problematic and kind of it, if you think about it for more than 2 seconds, the script writer is caught with their pants down because this is essentially what happens. Uh, they make it pretty clear. They hint at it and then they come out and say it in the span of like 4 minutes, where it's implied that Dopey's bullied, but then he's actually bullied and then he feels bad. Which, first of all, they established they've been together for 250 years. If the bullying's that bad, Dopey would have killed them all in their sleep by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he probably will. I don't know, but you gotta realize that in the writer's mind, Dopey can stand 250 years of bullying, but with 1 second of putting your lips together and push your tongue back, suddenly I can talk, right? It's so annoying, man. It's simplicity and lazy
Oh.
writing.
Oh, it gets worse because I would like to remind everybody that in the original movie, Dopey is never bullied.
It's
Not
love.
once.
He
The
doesn't even
dwarves
Yeah.
are
talk.
loving, and they're like
Well, but
brothers.
that's the thing. That's why which okay, yeah, the name is problematic in 2025, but it's not that
It
problematic.
was before Trump. It was. It's not anymore.
Okay, but here's my point. So they want to correct the mistake of Dopey as a character, but in order to do that, they have to write in Dopey being bullied in their script so that they can then flip it around and say, see, bullying's bad. Well, you're the ones that bullied him. He was never bullied before. You had to write that in your script so you could stand on your soapbox and make a point that didn't need to be made because this is a remake and the original character was not bullied.
Like that point defeated you.
Yeah, you defeated your own point.
I think that it goes a little more profound than that, if you guys allow me. This full generation, that is the one that started with millennials, that now they're in decision position, right, to make this kind of movies and liberate $250 million budgets. They didn't grow up with MTV. They didn't grow up, right, with television. They grew up with social media. And this, if we take COVID away, the only thing that make this generation is, I want to be different than everyone else. So they use this to try to create differences without understanding the foundation. That is exactly what you're saying, Jake. Dopey wasn't bullied. It was necessary. But the mind of the writer, because he want to be a pleaser to this generation, actually the sons of the millennials, because that's what's watching this movie, they need to please her. They come with a difference that actually create a worse problem because they're not analyzing the foundation. There were brothers, the seven dwarfs. If all the movie were animated like the dwarfs, it wouldn't bother me because it's a really smart and nice animation in that aesthetics. In those aesthetics, but the problem is that they put it with real world and they don't match. I mean, I feel the stress that they keep pushing these differences. The Lion King, right? And Simba, and what Mufasa,
Mufasa.
they are not good, but they are not bad because they stick to what works in that movie. You might not like the reality, but it sticks to what it is. And
Well,
this
and
one
that
wants to be different, and that drives me crazy.
yeah, but that brings up another problem. So like this is what I'm saying about the Lilo and Stitch remake that's coming out. It seems to be a beat per beat remake of the original.
I
And
like
my
that,
question,
bro.
but here's my problem. If you're I just would this will make more sense if I state my main thesis. I don't think any of these movies should be remade because Disney either is going to make a shot for shot remake just with live action and computer animation, or they warp it and change it to where it's unrecognizable from the original. And the solution to both those problems is just watch the damn first one.
Yes and no. Let me explain you why.
I
There's
think
a
it's cute.
culture.
I think the new Stitch
Right, but
is
it's
cute.
the same, but it's the
Yeah, but
same
you gotta understand
thing.
that the only money that comes to Disney is because it was a comic and become a live action. So they're following that trend. I like the live action movie. I never like, but I didn't dislike the Jungle Book. I didn't dislike Simba. I didn't dislike. There's a big difference in me. If you guys follow Toon Talk 2.0 or when I'm guest with Haley,
That's true.
there's
That's
a big
true.
difference that I didn't dislike and I like, right? I didn't dislike even Aladdin. I don't like them, but I didn't dislike them because they give me a little extra and get me, take the next step from animation and I like that. But don't fuck it up. I know I'm your guest, he's in your podcast, but don't mess it up as bad as Snow White. You want to be a feminist Latina that fights to a beautiful woman because they've been calling you ugly? That's fantastic. Name
Make a
it.
live action Sophia the First movie.
Thank you. Just name it differently. Just name it. I want to be Snow White.
Maybe not Sophia the First, but
yeah, maybe
something.
Please don't do that.
There's another one. I can't remember her name, but she's an older. She's a Disney princess. What's her name?
The one that is not a Disney princess. That's what you're thinking.
No, she is a Disney princess, but she had a series. I can't remember. No, she's Russian,
I don't know what you're talking about.
and she's a Fox princess. So
I
I know that she was
I
adopted.
think we talk about this. No more mess before the podcast, Jake.
But it's so nice.
I would like to, since we're talking about it, I would like to talk about Rachel because there's a billion problems I have with this woman.
Oh, not to cut you off, but it's Elena of Avalor.
Oh, Lena.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Make that movie. That would be new. That would be building on what's already been established. But anyway, go.
So my thing is you know how in the original Snow White, like she's like soft spoken and she's like she's not a belter. Rachel Zegler belts when she sings.
That's not really her fault. That's the music. And I will say I had less problems with Rachel Zegler in this movie than I thought I would. I think for the most part, this because Rachel Zegler can sing, like
Yeah.
and she's given shit songs to sing, but she sings them well.
Yeah.
So
the best of the
that
movie
was
is her voice. The worst of the movie is the movie itself.
basically, and I don't really there are actually some scenes that I think are pretty well considering what she's given, I think are pretty well acted. Now
Really, I
there's
think
some
that she doesn't have charisma to be a lead actress.
Did you watch West Side Story though?
Yes.
You know what though? I think now that you say that,
She's
I
a good
see it.
actress. Don't take me wrong.
I see it.
She's too young, but she doesn't. There's a saying in entertainment that you need to feel the camera or feel the stage. She doesn't. She just doesn't. Boys?
No, I see
great.
that. That's a very good way to put it. Is she's not a leading lady
She
yet.
might
I think
be.
she could be.
If she didn't destroy her career.
She just needs to stay in the West Side.
Well, but to be fair, for a long time, what's a good example? Like Amanda Seyfried. For a long time, I was like, yeah, but she can't carry a movie until I saw her. Now, this is after she'd been active for like 12, 15 years. And then I see her in a lead role and I went, holy shit.
Like, in sports, and I know that is not your forte, either one of you guys, In the professional
sports
sports,
ball?
professional sport. No, in professional sports, there's always if I let him debut earlier, more in soccer, right? Why? Because you can born the player, because you have a 14, 15-year-old with all the qualities to be a great player, but they're facing 34, 28-year-old men that can destroy him mentally and physically. I think that this would happen. She wasn't ready to be a Snow White. The script is bad, so they throw him to the lions. And I don't know if you guys remember the previous podcast we have about this. I told them everything could be a big hoax for Disney to bring people to the audience. I think to the theaters. I think that's how it started, but the movie didn't deliver, and I think her career is gonna be really bad. She's the Ryan Reynolds Green Lanterns of the moment. She's gonna be put in a box because probably they told her to say what she said. Probably they told her to be a nightmare because remember when you say, and you correct me really good, Haley, when they canceled the premiere in London, but then they did it again, right? So probably they're telling her to do all those things.
Yeah, they scaled it down.
But probably they're telling her to do this thing. You sent me the qualifications, Haley.
Yeah.
A bad movie is 5 in IMDb. This one has 2.5. 2.5.
Out of 10K.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, and the budget was an estimated
240
to 270 million. So it's in that range. Its current box office is sitting at 87.3 million.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that it's gonna be a flop, or we're gonna be all quiet. Now it got bad press from the beginning. Why? Because the lead actress, the movie says, her skin is white as the snow, and she doesn't have white skin. Now again, let's remember that this beauty shaming that happens in the movie, right? Saying she's just beautiful inside, right? That could disturb any actress or any person in entertainment. And I really think that she was lashing out. I've seen this before. I'm not going to go to specifics, but I've seen this before in people that they're models of actors. If they're getting something bad with their persona, the way that they're criticized by the media, right away they complain about the designer or the shoes or the catwalk was too slippery, because that's a human thing. You don't go and say, hey, why you call me ugly, right? But I think that she was lashing out because she's just 23. And they give a responsibility of a 34, 32-year-old woman in entertainment, not the character, that she's carrying the mother. We wouldn't have Disney or the parks if Disney wasn't Snow White Disney, the animated movie, wasn't a success, because that's what opened the money for the loans for him to have a park. So I think that the responsibility was too big, and Jake said, and you, Haley, correct me, in our 100,000 texts between Haley and me, this is, and you asked me, what do you think? And I told you, it's not as bad as we thought. It's as awful. I'm not verbatim, but it's as bad as we think it was going to be. The movie is not bad. It's not close to reality, and has a really bad script.
Well, and I was sort of thinking about it, and this is, I don't know if this is going to come across like it did in my mind, but the best way I can describe it is the original Snow White, the first full-length animated film, was Disney taking this thing and saying, look what we can do. And this one, and I would argue the vast majority, if not all, of the Disney live action remakes are Disney making the thing and saying, look what we did.
Yeah.
We want to score. We want to score points.
I will add you that this is what we shouldn't do.
No. They say look what we look what we did, because it's like, look, we made Belle more of a feminist.
No, I know. I was just joking.
In the original animation, we didn't come out and say it. In this one, we came out and said it. And then in The Little Mermaid, we attack racism, even though it was not an issue in the first movie at all. It wasn't a thing that anyone talked about until we created. We solved bullying and hunger, apparently.
And hunger, bullied, and we empower women not to be a fighter, not to be a good leader, but have good memory in everyone's jobs and names.
Well, I will say this: if that's the criteria for ruling a kingdom, I'm fucked because I'm terrible with names.
Dude,
I'd be out
I don't
there.
even
I'd
know
be out
who
there.
you are. I remember
Yeah,
Kelly because I'm reading her name. I do a podcast when we're business partners. I don't know how many times I need to call you to ask you for your full name, bro. I'll
that's
be
true.
the worst leader ever.
I'm standing on the bridge with the crystal dagger to my throat and being like, "Hey, there he
Are
is.
you
There's my
done?
guy. Yeah.
David, Steve,
What's my name?
you were a
Oh.
Baker pilot. Yeah, pilot. Dave the pilot.
See, I don't even remember his name. What was his name?
Dude,
Extra number 4, Baker.
Baker number 4.
Come on, extra
Now,
number 4. You don't
can you
got to do
explain me?
this.
I think that your theory of the real rebels are the ones that they are there, and the real small person is the one that shoots the bow, right? And they keep it because they needed to keep it. However, there's always a contract that you can find there from the production, and they get paid. They don't need to be
Right?
there.
Yeah,
But
pay or play. Yeah.
but however, I think that your theory is the guy that said about it. Thank you, share that with us. But I don't get why that scene was necessary, or why we need a second small person shooting a bow that we have a perfect close-up of the bow when somebody's grabbing it. It's so misleading, the movie. It looks like they shot all the parts and then they go, how they put them together? Oh, just make a musical that is really bad. That's how it feels for me.
Well,
The
no,
movie's not good.
there were legitimately extensive reshoots in this
Oh
movie.
yeah.
That's documented. So, and actually, funnily enough, it's that character that makes me think they might have just reused the actors, recast the actors, because it that character doesn't make sense unless he was going to be a dwarf, and then
Yeah.
just kind of like, well, we got you guys here, and I say that not because he's a dwarf, but because his character is not fleshed out in any way. Does he even have a name?
No, it doesn't have a name.
Admittedly, I'm bad with names, but
Well, he was Steve David Arthur, the mole person.
oh no, he had a title. It was a Master of the Crossbow, which
Yeah, that's not a name. That's a nickname.
well, I know, but he
After
said
the crossbow, but he
I think
never had a crossbow until like
oh, I
later.
think that was his name, wasn't it? Stephen, Master of the Crossbow.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
So
But it's like
I want to do an exercise, because I don't want people that listen to this that they think that we're the angry Karen that we don't like anything, and I want to ask you a favor to both of you.
But
I'm gonna try to defend the movie with everything I know of entertainment.
But I am the angry Karen. I'm just kidding.
Attack me, and I'm gonna try, and you will see, people. I give you my word that I'm gonna try to defend every part of this movie. Why we don't like the movie? Because I got a comment the other day. I don't remember, somebody wrote it, somebody called me, or an email, whatever, right? Saying that we never like the movies. So in honor to that person, right? I'm gonna try to defend Snow White with all I had. So please, Haley and Jake, attack me, and I will give you a justification, realistic, based in the script and in my knowledge of entertainment. So people see that we're not being jerks, that we're not being an angry Karen. We actually didn't like the movie. Do you guys think that will be a good exercise? It will be fun.
sure. Okay. Why was the evil queen a dominatrix?
Because she looked good in that. Why? Because the woman was so insecure.
Hey, fair enough.
I know. The woman is so insecure that she thinks that the only way to rule, right, is like Machiavelli, by fear, not by love. And that's what she pretend that it's a war, and manipulate the queen to live that so she can have the dream of her to be the queen. So the justification is that she's so insecure and she has dysmorphia that she needs to create a world around her, like every model that I used to date, right? To create a different world around, right? This, to compensate the dysmorphia. That's my justification. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm thinking for real.
You know what would have been a really interesting character beat that they could have given her to sort of subliminally show that insecurity? If she was constant, like every time she had a scene, and if she ever saw something out of sorts, like maybe her lipstick was slightly off, or she had like a stray hair in her eyebrow, if she made it a point to correct it, I'm being serious.
No,
If she
I'm
always
with
if
you.
she always made it a point to correct that in the
I
scene.
see it, bro. She can go and do this, bro. Something, because the woman is cinematically perfect, symmetric in her face. Her body's slim. She can sing shit, but okay, I'm defending here. I think that it was just dysmorphia, a psychological aspect that we need to erase their voices to take care of the models in Hollywood.
Yeah. Nobody, to be fair, no one on planet Earth asked for Gal Gadot to sing,
No.
No one.
except for the director of this movie.
I will
And-
say that we need to have a theme for the able person because that's follow how to do a Disney in English, a musical. You gotta have a theme for everyone. When we're musicalizing or putting the score in every project that we do, every character has their song. Why? For three different things: royalties, distribution, and branding. Because
yeah,
the
but
brand, I'm just defending here. Bro,
Sure,
I
sure,
hated
sure,
the
but
movie, but I'm trying to
no.
defend
But
it.
what I'm saying is, you can do this. So make her own theme that's kind of an inverse of Snow White's and a minor chord, and she never sings. That's her
Yeah.
musical theme.
Oh yeah,
It's easy.
Dude, I can solve the movie in 3 steps, making it easy. But I'm trying to defend for the fans that they think that we don't like anything.
So like literally, like here's the thing, like I don't Snow, well actually no, I take that back. Snow White's like kind of musical theme is a little bit of a take on Whistle While You Work in this movie. It's the whistle theme, like it's that piece of music. So like I said, you know, for the Evil Queen's theme, put it in a minor chord, do heavy brass, and she never sings.
Or dude, honestly, I said I was gonna defend him, but honestly, we're in 2025. In 2010, I got hired to make a stutter sing because that was his dream, and we deliver a song with his voice in 2010. If Bad Bunny sings nowadays, even Gal Gadot can do it. It's just lazy work.
Well, but more
You know
so
that
to the
no, but
narrative.
you can take the whole take, Jake, and put it half a tone up, and it will sound different because she's not singing live, right?
Right. No, she's not. But my point, narratively speaking, is first the Evil Queen, because sort of a theme that's never really said, but it's you can see it, is all the good characters sing
Yeah.
at some point. Music is a part of that. The
I'm
Evil
gonna
Queen,
justify that. That's a great justification. The evil king doesn't need how to sing because it's a contra part of the good
she
singer.
shouldn't.
Yeah, she
But
should.
see, like here's well, for multiple reasons. Narratively, she shouldn't sing. But here's like an example. You got the whistle wire, da, 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 so put it in a minor chord and slow it down, heavy brass to dun, 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 it's easy. And it's the antithesis of Snow White. And
And
most
she could
people,
just say, "Bring me the heart," and that will be enough. I'm with
yeah,
you, but I guess let's remember that Gal Gadot is a producer in the movie.
that explains it. I've always wanted to sing in a film.
I think that could be. I mean, let's remember that she was ripped apart the character of everyone. Christian Bale said, "I don't want to do Batman anymore." Henry Cavill said, "I don't want to be Superman anymore." They told her, "You can't be Wonder Woman anymore." So
I
maybe
liked
she
her as
just
Wonder Woman.
what you like
I
her.
liked her as Wonder.
I never liked her as Wonder Woman. She doesn't look like Wonder Woman. She's a skinny to be Wonder Woman. She's
Okay, that
the
person
new the
doesn't
new
exist though.
no. The new Wonder Woman that they're casting, she's 6'1".
Really?
She's a strong, beautiful woman, and it looks like you know who was
Well,
a good.
I
Go
would
ahead.
say, can she act? But they cast
No,
Gal
no, no,
Gadot.
no, no. It's an
Oh.
actress. It's an actress. I've been following what they're gonna do, but whatever. Anyway, keep attacking the movie. I'm gonna try to defend him a little more. And
So
it's hard.
how can you defend that at the very end of the film they basically they don't subliminally say it, they flat out throw it in your face that white is right.
Because we're in an industry woke that is paid by white people. How many owners of basketball? How many owners
So
of
so
basketball
what the
team do we have?
so
How
what
many
the so
black
what
owners we have?
hang
One
on
basketball owner.
hang on. So the quote Hooper X, what they're saying is that even though they want racial diversity deep down, what they're saying is everybody just needs to act white.
Okay, hold a second. Calm down. We're not talking about America. We're talking about the movie.
This movie is very much talking about America.
No. I was
In a
trying to
big
be
way.
facetious. I was trying
They
to be
were
fictitious. The reality, Jake, how many African American or Latinos own an NFL team? Zero. How many basketball team they have in the NFL?
Well,
One, no,
it's
wait,
not a
let me
Latino,
finish.
but hang on. Hang on.
Go ahead.
The Cons own the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're a minority.
Okay, I'm talking about reality things. How many teams in the NFL own? I mean, in the NBA are all one in the NBA. Michael Jordan is a minority owner. Who plays?
He's also a minority owner.
Yeah. Who plays the team? African American and one Latino. The reality is that the roles has changed and the name has changed, but the industry is still the same. Every decision taken in America is white.
Yeah, I just find it really funny that this movie goes out of its way the entire time to be like, look, we're all different and that's great. And then at the end, they're all wearing a goddamn uniform. Worse than the Queen.
And there's no Latinos in the movie.
Except for Rachel Zegler.
But she's, come on, dude. Her mom was Colombian, but she doesn't, like, dude, come on. Her dad was German and she's American.
Okay, fair enough. I see what you're talking about, the person. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, but we have one Asian kind of at the end. The guy that wakes up there, and that's it. We have one black guy, one black extra, and that's it. That's it. We have one small person, one international that is Gal Gadot, and that's it. The rest is white supremacy. Sorry. I really think that we just watch Mengele version of Snow White.
I just think at the end, instead of reprising that first musical number, they should have just played the national anthem of the Soviet Union.
That could work. I will go with the Third Reich anthem, but yeah.
No, this is not a fascist movie. This is very much a communist movie.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna give you that. I take that. You're totally right. Sorry, Haley, we're making this really sorry.
Yeah.
Well, no,
yeah.
like this movie was at one point one step away from the evil queen morphing into Donald Trump. Like it was I was half expecting.
Hold on a second. Do not talk bad about Uncle Trumpy.
No. Here's the thing.
There's a funny thing though I found out. Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot didn't talk at all when filming. They hate each other. They hate each other because of politics.
Oh yeah, well, remember when they're making the press conference and Gal Gadot being Israeli and Rachel talking shit about early people supporting Palestine. Mm-hmm. I mean, shut the hell up. The problem is, again, she's just 23. That's a reflection of society nowadays. Mm-hmm. I'm conceited. I think I'm right, and all my ego is being shattered because I'm just beautiful inside, and they put it around the world. I'm just going to say whatever to distract people. I date models my whole life, Haley. I know. They do that all the time.
And I think...
Not everyone.
I think that I heard that it's because Rachel is a Biden supporter and Gal Gadot... Gal Gadot is a Trump supporter.
I think because she doesn't know what the hell she's... Gal Gadot maybe, but... Again, I'm not trying to trash talk at young people. There's young people that they know more about what I'm talking about politics. But you can, if you take away the Disney movie, right, and you take away her being a Snow White, and you just saw her answers, it's a really lack of knowledge in politics and in life person, really considered, thinking that she's better what she is, talking stupidity. Remember 6 years ago when everybody was criticizing Donald Trump, right? Once I have a political argument with people from politics, I said, do you remember that the guy's over 70, right? He's like an old, angry white man saying, I hate black people, to Twitter, because he's old. We need to understand the generation of the people that talks, regardless of the age. I'm not going to have the same point of view that Jake. I'm not going to have the same point of view like you. We will match in the middle because we are, I want to believe we're educated, respectful people, but we don't have to be agreed. I mean, you know how many times I argue a week with Jake?
We have a podcast that we do weekly where we do just that.
That's exactly what I mean, though, is the fact that they hated each other and they didn't speak during filming at all. And they, they kept each other out on social media when they did their post when the movie came out. It's just weird.
Honestly, I think that helps. I think that helped the performance actually, because I did get the vibe that
But at
like
the
each one of
beginning, they
them.
were friends. As far as I know, when they were reading scripts, the problem started when she started supporting Palestine, not being a Colombian, German American, and Gal Gadot is actually Israeli. She's not American. She came with
Yeah,
an
she's
O1 visa.
Israeli.
Yep.
So I think that creates a lot of tension in any production, right? It's like you or Jake saying that you don't like tacos. I'm not gonna like you anymore. We're gonna be like this in a podcast, all right?
Stop wasting your time on manually editing your videos. The secret AI tool will do the work for you. One of the best things about it is that it gives your video the potential to go viral. Visit this page, sign in, create a project by clicking on this button. Choose a video that you want to use. Click on the AI clip button. Wait for the magic. It is scanning through the video and looking for the parts that has the potential to go viral. Instead of editing the video by yourself, it does the work for you. It even generates headline and captions which fit your video. Another surprise is that they generate video description or social post for you to use. Once done, click Export to post.
But the thing is, I think that created. I don't think that it started like that because you see before they start shooting the first interview. And again, I invite people to see it and strip Wonder Woman, strip the Disney, and you just see a 35, 36-year-old gal, right? And Rachel talking. You can see how she look at her like, oh, you're so young and stupid. And the other one like,
honey, sweetie
I'm
baby.
ready to say everything because I think I know everything in life, and you don't, dude. You're just 23. I invite you to look at like that, and you go like, oh, this makes sense. That's it. She's done. She's done now. I never thought that it will be somebody more stupid than the woman that acted the Spanish trans that acted the movie. What was the name of the movie that she was nominated for the Oscars?
Oh, Amelia Perez.
I never thought that. So I really think that the PR of Amelia Perez, the actress, when she saw Rachel talk, she's like, phew, they're taking the cloud. I'm like, whoo. It's like bad.
Okay, can I trash talk the dwarves some more, please?
Oh, sure. I love it.
Yay! That's a weird thing to say yay too, but okay. So
Get them, Haley.
okay. They are horrible. First of all, like I said before, they're like strangely like CGI / mocap. They're mocap. So they're like the actors are on the little what you call it.
Buddies.
So what you're saying is I was right. I was right. Where Disney probably paid the actors to go in there and act the scene with Snow White with mocap talent and technology, or they could have just hired dwarf actors.
No, actually, I think that they were the original actors. This is what my thinking.
Probably.
It was those actors that we saw as the rebels.
Probably.
Right?
Yep,
they just went mocap and do it because, I mean, let's assume that then if it wasn't mocap, then Rachel I take everything back, and Rachel is the best actor ever existed because she didn't have replica and she was doing everything by herself. She got somebody there doing replicas. Her reactions
I should have looked for her line of sight though.
I saw it. There's a line of sight. She was doing it. She was talking to somebody.
Here's the thing, though.
Well, I know, but was it higher or lower?
No, it was lower. It was lower.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing, though. Andrew Barth Feldman, who was in Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway, he played Dopey, and he played Dopey.
He voiced him at least, but did he actually play him? Yeah, he voiced
him.
But
he's not afraid anymore.
Yeah.
God.
And
sorry.
And to that I say, Andrew, honey, why did you make it sound like Olaf?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Why does Dopey sound like Olaf?
Because Dopey likes warm hugs too, I guess.
You know what? There's a version of a Snow White in the 80s that is a porn movie that is way better than this. It is. I'm not kidding. In the 80s, I was really young. I remember my cousins talking about it. They were older than me, like 10 years. And they were saying it was a moment in the 80s that they were doing the famous books porn. And I think that for sure. Why you say no, Jake? Everybody watches porn at least once in their
Oh
life.
no, so they did it before Disney.
Oh yeah, they did it for. And I'm pretty sure it was better. I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure it was better than this one.
And I do want to bring up a couple more points too. One being Snow White was the very first movie Walt worked on, very first one. So why they didn't pay any homage is beyond me.
Well, I think that they hated the original movie. Haley, that's the reality.
Pretty
They
clearly,
hated.
yeah.
I don't know if you saw what Rachel just said yesterday, and now she want to get paid for every minute she's in the screen in the streaming services. Again, she's a really young, stupid person.
Well, you know what though?
She has a point.
Honestly,
Yes.
to a point, yeah, I do. I think the problem is, and it's definitely with the studios, because let's be real here. If they could go the rest of time without paying another residual dime, they would.
But they do, bro.
I know they do. I know they do.
I got friends that they were in Karate Kid, that they were the gang of
Right.
that he still received money a lot.
Why are they doing another Karate Kid, by the way?
Actually, I'm kind of excited for it. I think it looks pretty dope. I think it looks pretty dope.
But keep going in the royalties. I want to hear this.
So I know that their biggest problem is the fact that, and I don't know this, maybe you can enlighten me, is there an existing residual relationship for streamed?
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Okay, there is.
Let me tell you. My friend, he was in the band of Johnny, not the lead ones. Mm-hmm. And he told me for years before the streaming services, I received a check of the movie was in TV in Venezuela, right? Or in Czechoslovakia. So I received like this, $3, $4 every month, because SAG makes sure of that. When Netflix started and then they brought back the movies and then they broke the TV series, his check went from $3 to even thousands of dollars, because it's a streaming. A SAG does that, protects. She's so dumb, right? That she will receive money for the streaming unless her agent is so stupid that denied that. And she doesn't know, man, she's too young. She was in one show before this, right? A TV show. But it was
I don't know about TV show. Her film debut was West Side Story, the remake.
Yeah, but before that, she was in a TV series.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean,
but I mean,
legit.
She's too young. I hopefully forget Snow White, forget that I'm Latino. I forget that she only can sing, she can act. I really wish that somebody stop her and tell her, slow down, you're gonna destroy your career. What you accomplish at this young age, it can disappear really fast, because you are 23 right now, but there's millions of people online to get a chance like this. So calm down, hon.
Well, the thing that really was initially off-putting for me in regards to her and Snow White is the fact that I don't think at any point was she particularly grateful to have been giving this once in a life, once in a girl. Once, like, you get to play Snow White. Like,
dude, she's supposed to shut up, do your best job,
and say thank you.
Worry about the story. Remember that it's not bad script. Mm-hmm. It's just bad actors and bad directors. No, because you can have a really bad script and take it to another level. You could.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Samuel L. Jackson, every shit that he did, it was okay or not right, and make it to the next level.
Could you imagine if Samuel L. Jackson had been the Huntsman?
Oh my God.
You will love the movie. You will love the movie. No, pull that time, motherfucker. Pull it.
Justin sent me something, and I didn't know this, but apparently Rachel Zegler isn't the only one that said that they aren't going to be saved by a prince. Apparently, all the Disney princesses live action actors said that same thing.
Oh, sure. I'm sure that's a press talking point.
It's a press talking point that they receive. The problem is the way I really invite everyone to go and see that interview. Even you guys know that I study humans, right? And I have the human behavior degree. The way that she moves, she's portraying, she's like, and laughing, and it's like, this is not going to be saved by the prince. She's diverging information because she knows that she's going to be beauty shamed. Trust me, look at it. Look the way that her shoulders are tugging. And it's a press point that she thought it was going to be more. And you look Gal Gadot, look at her, and she goes like this. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, dude.
There was nothing wrong with the original.
Nothing wrong.
It
was a little boring.
She was still
The original one is a little boring. The climax of the movie, after the first climax, there's a hole that is a little boring. But I mean, not like this one.
I'm just waiting for Snow White 2 when it starts with this very Mortal Kombat Annihilation vibes. It starts off, the second movie starts off right at that party where everybody's in the KKK outfits. And then, boom, there's an explosion at the gate and the Southern Kingdom just comes in and invades and wrecks all their shit.
No. It comes back with half of face skull, the witch, and it says fatality.
Yeah. But because she went down to the Southern Kingdom and married that king and was like, you know what, you should really go fuck up this other kingdom because I hear they're all a bunch of white supremacists.
Even
and that
worse,
king gets to be black.
Yeah, exactly. And she comes dressed with a hat in the back and says, yo, what's up?
No,
yo, what's up?
No, that king is Samuel L. Jackson.
Lynch my butt, you motherfucker.
I'm so sorry, you guys, for them. I'm so sorry to my viewers.
Sorry, you invite 2.0. What you were expecting? You can invite Jake and have a decent show. You can invite Virus, me, and have a decent show. You're putting the nastier of the Pantheon podcast together.
I thought that Justin and him were the problem.
And Justin,
it's a different problem. It's a different problem. No, King Samuel L. Jackson bumps in. I heard there was a motherfucking fan rally.
I got it. It's Snow White 2, Back from the Hood. Yeah, what's up? That's the name. And we can use NWO soundtrack.
Snow White 2, Under the Red Hood.
Okay, I gotta say that about the movie. In one moment, she got time to stop in Nostrum to get a red cape.
What was with the red cape? I don't understand it.
What time she said, like, beat you over there, follow the plan. Let me just go shopping really fast. So I got a dramatic entrance. Like, what, dude?
Well, I love how she's wearing the cape, right? Supposedly to be incognito. And then she takes 2 steps. But not only that, she takes 2 steps in the town and everybody knows who she is instantly.
Bro, the whole town is gray. And she arrives in a red cape.
It's like Schindler's List. It's like the scene in Schindler's List. And she's like, okay, we're gonna sneak into the town. Everybody's like, it's Snow White.
I gotta tell this. Even we're destroying this podcast, we're not even close on what this is Snow White destroyed Disney and the original story.
Not just this, but she takes the hood off.
Yeah. He's like, don't look at me. I'm the only one with color. Don't look at me and look my face. And the only person that remember me, yes, I'm looking at you. It's weird. It's weird. Seriously, the movie's a bad movie.
How is that crown of plants still around?
Oh, well, because it's immortal plant.
I mean, you can put it in water, I think, and it'll still survive.
For
13 years.
I
mean, hey, maybe it's a different one. I don't know.
Disney, it's Disney, okay?
It's a magic plant.
If hearts can be apples and gorgeous women can have this trophy and they have a magical mirror, everything is possible.
Okay. Speaking of apples, I've got a gripe and a joke. Okay. Well, 2 gripes and a joke. Okay. So the hag, way scarier in the original. I don't know why they did.
You said 2 gripes and a joke. Did they walk into the bar?
They do, and they tear this movie a new one. So why does the evil queen transform into the hag before she poisons the apple?
Oh no! Before she gets into the dungeon, I think she wanted to be in character.
Maybe, yeah. She's like, okay, but the problem is she walks
scene,
and second. Now I'm just imagining, like, it would have completely taken me out of the movie, but I would have laughed my ass off, is if the hag was Donald Trump. She just turns in, and then she hits Snow White, and she's like, oh, you must be Snow White. I've heard a lot about you. They tell me you're the most beautiful.
But you're not white.
But you're not white. You're not white. That means you got to get out of here.
I'm in the right address. Because I'm looking
They-
for Snow White, and you're Latina.
They told me.
Ice, can you check her papers?
They told me there were 7 dwarfs in the woods, and I find this little girl out here, no problem. But hey, I'm gonna tell you, you should take a bite of this apple. It's the greatest apple you've ever seen.
It's
the best
fantastic. It's
apple.
made by a
It's
great
a
team of
fantastic
people.
apple.
Fantastic apple.
My thing is though too is like because in the original she falls behind the table and then you just see her arm. She's out in the open. Why'd you go outside of the house?
You know, the only thing I miss about this version is the crystal coffin. That was really cool in every version, in the book and the movie and everything. And
Yeah,
here they
where's
just
the
put it in
glass
a
coffin?
table. Yeah, it's not.
It was just like like a rock,
It was a
stone?
tape. It was a stone. Yeah, you're right.
a stone. Yeah,
Now, how long she was there in this movie? Like 25, 23 minutes?
Well, no,
Because in the
in the
original
movie, it
book-
was a couple days.
No, not in this movie. In this movie, it was like that. It's just like they wanna not pay attention so much
It's
of
like-
a thief go and kiss her and save her, right? Because she saved him first. So,
Okay, so and then there's that. So what kind of fucking idiot just ties people to a gate where, first of all, he probably could have gotten out of that rope eventually by himself.
yeah.
But all somebody has to do is come up behind her. Like, it's not exactly a great knot. She basically just pulls it apart.
and I don't know why they assumed that they live in the North Pole, because they just took his shoes and he was gonna die with that.
And what happened
Yeah,
to?
he's going to die of exposure. He would have been out there for months.
And whatever happened? Because
Weeks, not months.
And what happened to this? You literally said you were going to strip him of everything, all his clothing, and then leave him
Well,
out there.
this is a G-rated. This is a G-rated movie, Haley.
Yeah, true.
I know, but he got his necklace that he never got out of it, that he looked like a puny Yuppie boy from the 80s, right? With that stupid necklace. He got his clothes completely. I guess your whole property in that communist place was like communist was the boots. That was your most valuable possession, your shoes.
Getting back to the old hag real quick, though. I did not like the transformation scene.
No.
What was that?
That was something they put it in because they had to. So, okay, this was the metaphor I came up with that I think perfectly encapsulates what this movie is. So this movie, imagine like what's a really great painting, you know, like let's say, I mean, I don't think it's a great painting, but the Mona Lisa, let's say, because everybody knows what the Mona Lisa is.
Okay.
This movie is if you took the Mona Lisa and made it a paint by number.
Mm.
Like it's the
No,
Mona
no, I
Lisa.
got something better. It's like somebody is carrying the David, right?
Yeah.
And drop it and grab glue and put it together badly.
Like Starry
Well, no,
Night
here's-
too. Starry
Well,
Night.
Starry Night's a shit painting, but I said it.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry. He's overrated.
I just like Pollock and Dali, so I don't care
Okay,
about the rest, to be honest.
how about this? The scream guy that screams with his hand.
Edvard
Van Gogh.
Munch.
Van Gogh.
That's
Van
not
Gogh,
Van
right?
Gogh.
Is not Van
Edvard
Gogh?
Munch. No, Edvard Munch,
the
I think.
scream, the scream.
Yeah, the scream.
I don't like it. I'm actually in a period that I just like Pollock and Dali. I don't like anything else right now. Not even Monet.
Anyway,
I mean
your
that-
point.
I don't
Okay.
know. I'm just
A
sorry.
a Rembrandt masterpiece that's a paint by number. It's the same picture, but it ain't the same thing. So this movie is essentially just they have to hit certain beats that are expected, turning into the hag is one of them, but they don't string them together and add to it in a way that has any soul, feeling, value. It's just kind of like a step by step. Okay, we hit this beat. She has to sing Whistle While You Work with the Dwarfs, but we're going to elongate that and make it a thing that it doesn't need to be. Insert anti-bullying campaign here. Oh, yeah, she has to become the hag and give Snow White the apple, but we're going to change it to where she sings about it first. And then instead of just going to the house when Snow White's alone, Snow's getting ready to leave and go raise an army or some shit. I don't know why she's going by herself. That seems really dangerous when, you know, the whole kingdom is trying to find and kill you. And you take food from a stranger knowing full well you can. Snow White's naive in the first one. I'll give her that. In this one, Snow White knows for a fact the entire kingdom is trying to find her and kill her. Her circle of friends consists of 14 people. And you
Yep.
take food from a stranger because you are a moron.
No, because they told you that remind you of the pies that you used to do with your dad. Now,
That's the dumbest thing
is the
I have
dumbest? Yeah.
ever heard. That's the same logic as like, oh, my dad used to drive a Dodge Ram truck. I'm going to stare at it as it comes toward me.
Yeah. Oh, people, at the end of the day, it's a bad movie. If you guys want to watch it and whatever, I watch it with my sister and tell me, well, maybe the kids of this generation will like it. And at the end of the day, we don't know financials. We really don't know the financials of Disney. Maybe they needed to clean $250 million, and somebody's in an office saying, it did it right. Or something that is happening in Hollywood really big is doesn't matter how talented you are, doesn't matter how exposure you have. What matters is the relationship between the producer, the casting director, and the agent, not even the actor anymore. I mean, we're living in with Pascal. He's in everything. He's talented yet, but he's doing Apple commercials. He's a Latino Mr. Fantastic with a mustache. Never seen before. He was in Narcos. He was in The Mandalorian. He's everything. And that's a good agency director because the agents are working the same agency that get the movie package that gives the money to the studio. So at the end of the day, is not about probably Rachel got this role because of that, because they needed somebody to look not like Gal Gadot, because Gal Gadot is a producer again, and they wanted
so they got somebody that has the exact same hair color, skin tone, eye color.
But you know what I mean, right?
I'm just saying, like,
but I'm talking about it.
yeah.
But
Well,
I don't
she's
know.
way shorter. I'll give her that.
Yeah, they're different kind of women
I
together.
know.
The other day I saw her in Jimmy Kimmel, right? And she doesn't look that bad, but like you say, she can't hold a bob.
No, she's not a Bob girl. She's not a Bobby girl.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
That'll
I,
just be said. Just don't watch this movie.
yeah.
Also, I think not only is Snow White the first Disney movie, it was the first hand drawn movie.
Yeah, it was the first one
first full
with a
length,
technique.
first full length animated feature film.
Yeah.
And it was the first one that used the rotoscopy technique based in human with different layers for a machine that Disney created, because one is moving to the left and they're to the right and everything is different.
Yeah.
Beautiful technique, by the way.
And speaking of hand drawn, I heard somewhere that Disney is considering bringing back hand drawn movies.
Yeah, I read that too.
I don't know where they're going to get the animators, but
well, people can learn, man.
Yeah, that's true. Well, fair enough. Yeah, because all the
that would
Disney
be great. I
animation
miss
has
that
a
kind of
history.
animation.
I do too.
Because
I really
it looks fake, the 2D and 3D. They look like a video game to me. I remember Ralph. Remember Wreckling Ralph? Wreckling Ralph? That was a
Wreck-It Ralph, yeah.
I like it, but after 8 minutes, I'm like, shit, I don't want to play a video game. I want to see a cartoon.
Number 2 was kind of eh.
By the way, I hear a rumor, and I'm going to go with this because not we just... I'm getting sad of Disney. I hear a rumor. You guys remember that Hulu is not property of Disney, right?
Yep.
You know what cartoon is property of Hulu now? Thundercats. So probably we're finally going to have a Disney movie, right, of the Thundercats. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad, but at least we're going to have it. I really want to see. Give it to us. Give it to Force and Curb. Please, for God's sake. I can do a better job sitting down in my desk. Anyway.
Samuel Jackson is Panthro.
No, dude, you can have a beautiful cast of people that they look fantastic. I will have, I don't know, I haven't, Sweeney, what is the name of the girl? Sweeney.
It's a cat, motherfucker.
What is the name of this actress?
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney will be a perfect Chitara.
I saw a commercial because they're making another Smurf movie.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't either.
And Rihanna is going to play Smurfette.
You know what? I just decided, guys,
She's
after that news and Snow White, I'm just going to retire from entertainment.
Like, why are you voicing Smurfette?
Well, you know what? I'll give credit where credit's due. Actually, don't sleep on Rihanna as a voice actor because she was in
No, she's good as a voice actress.
yeah, she was in the movie Home,
Yeah.
and I was floored how good that was.
No disrespect, bro, but the easiest job of actors is the voiceover.
I loved Jim Parsons in Home too.
Can I come into the out now?
Can I come? I love
No
that was my
disrespect,
favorite line.
but I heard a company that is gonna release audiobooks, and it was really easy to do. The post production was a nightmare, but the recording was fun. Do you remember? Anyway,
I remember somebody taking off way more than he thought he was.
well, yeah, I told you it's normal. I knew it was gonna be like that, but I mean, sometimes.
The narrator, another British gentleman, another character.
Well, you did a good job though. Anyway,
If you say so.
thank you for having me, Haley. As you guys seen, I've been coughing a lot, so I've been trying to take care of my voice. Today, I tried to talk after this crazy flu. I mean, to sing, and my voice is really sick. But thank you, Haley, for inviting us. Sorry to become our classical back and forward with Jake and I.
Yeah.
But I love you. I love your audience, and thank you for inviting me again to create a little chaos in your beautiful podcast. Right? You want to add anything with that shirt, Jake, or you don't want to really?
Wow.
I try not to, but if you don't want to, you're my brother, and I can let it pass. But
No,
you owe us one. You owe us one.
I made a bet.
No. But listen to me.
Yes, you did.
It's a casting. It's like a. You can exchange this for 2 favors to be decided, no question asked. One for Haley and one for me.
I never agree to no questions asked.
No. I'm saying you can avoid this, and you can exchange it for a favor for Haley and a favor for me, no question asked. I mean, within the law. Instead of doing
I still never agree to no questions asked.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm giving you an option here.
Nope. I made a bet, and I'm a man of my word.
Okay. I'm ready.
Hold
can you tell the audience before you do it what was the thing?
Okay. So we did a podcast together talking about this film in 2023.
Yeah.
And at the time, Daily Wire had released a trailer for their Snow White movie, and I said, because their trailer said 2024, and I had said that I made a bet that Daily Wire's movie would come out before Disney's would.
And I was
for a minute there,
that's not gonna pass.
Yeah. For a minute there, it looked like I was gonna win, and Virus, to his credit, just said, okay, we'll see.
And what was the bet? Can you remind us?
The bet was the loser had to do the truffle shuffle.
From the movie The Goonies, for everyone that doesn't know.
And I will put that podcast down below, the episode down below, so you can see it.
So, Jake, first of all, I want to congratulate you because you're a sports person.
Hey, I wore the shirt, so.
When I saw you with the shirt, I was not going to do anything, but you did the effort. So, humor us, brother. We love you.
I apologize in advance to the viewers. How am I going to do this?
Like 50.
Just move a little back. Just take the chair.
I just gotta. Well, I can't move back, so I have to move the.
Watch me lose like 50.
And you can close your computer though.
Well, I can't because it'll. Here we go.
There you go.
Move it down there. Close enough.
Oh, bye 50
Bye 50 subscribers.
No, actually, you're gonna get more because this is really funny.
I hope I can do this.
You're gonna start saying, "Let me come in and I gotta yell at you." Not if you don't do the truffle shuffle.
Come on.
You gotta do it.
Oh my god.
Come on.
You know you gotta do it.
Fine. Oh God, no, that's fine. Ah!
Yeah, man, that was good. You know what? You're a good sportsman. Congratulations. You keep
I am going to need so much therapy.
To be fair, you could have told me at any point not to do it.
She didn't say anything. I give you an option out. She didn't say anything. It's her podcast, not mine.
I know, but I made a bet.
You made a bet, and I respect that. Thank you, Haley, for letting us destroy your podcast, as always. Follow and share this podcast. Make a short about this. I guarantee you're going to have a lot of likes.
Oh, I'm making him do this such a short. I'm making him.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Haley. Avoid the Snow White.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. I will see you guys next time, and I'm so sorry for what you just witnessed. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.